Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that your entire civilization owes a debt so massive that not even the richest star empire in the galaxy could pay it off. Sounds insane, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to humanity. For thousands of years, alien civilizations looked at humans and saw only one thing: a species buried under an impossible obligation. They laughed about it. They made jokes about it. Some even built entire economic theories around the idea that humanity would spend eternity trying and failing to repay what it owed. But then something happened that nobody saw coming. Against all odds, against every prediction, humanity actually did it. We paid the debt, every last credit, every last obligation. And the second that final payment cleared, ancient machines hidden across the stars suddenly woke up. Governments declared emergencies. Military fleets scrambled into position. And for the first time in recorded history, the most powerful empires in the galaxy were terrified of humanity. Because they realized the debt was never the real story. What waited at the end of it was. For over 3,000 years, the ancient debt had haunted humanity like a shadow. Every schoolchild knew about it. Every government discussed it. Every major civilization in the galaxy used it as an example of something impossible. The story dated back millions of years to a civilization known only as the Architects. The Architects weren't conquerors. They weren't tyrants. They were builders. Legends claimed they had shaped entire star systems, guided the evolution of countless species, and possessed technology so advanced it looked like magic. Then one day, they vanished. No war, no warning, no explanation. They simply disappeared. All that remained were scattered ruins and fragments of their records. Among those records was a document that changed humanity's future forever: the Covenant of Continuance. At first, historians thought it was just another ancient legal archive. Then translators uncovered its true meaning. According to the Covenant, humanity had inherited responsibility for every resource the Architects had invested in Earth's development. And that investment was staggering. Ancient calculations showed the Architects had spent millions of years protecting humanity. They had diverted asteroids, stabilized climate disasters, prevented extinction-level events. Even subtle genetic interventions appeared throughout the records. The total value of those efforts exceeded anything the modern galaxy could comprehend. Humanity effectively owed the largest debt in galactic history. Most alien civilizations thought the whole thing was hilarious. "Good luck paying that back" became a common joke in interstellar politics. The Fourth Dominion mocked humanity openly. The Car Imperium treated the debt as proof humans would never become a serious power. Even humanity's allies quietly assumed repayment was impossible. For centuries, they were probably right. But humans have always had a habit of chasing impossible goals, and that's exactly what happened. Instead of ignoring the debt, humanity studied it. Scientists analyzed it. Economists modeled it. Artificial intelligences processed its numbers for decades. Then one day, they discovered something that changed everything. The debt wasn't infinite. It was measurable, and if something could be measured, it could eventually be repaid. That realization sparked a movement unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Entire universities dedicated themselves to debt research. Governments created special agencies. Trillions of credits flowed into projects designed to reduce the obligation. Alien civilizations laughed even harder. To them, humanity looked like a species throwing away resources on a fantasy. But humans didn't care. Because deep down, they believed something most species didn't. Impossible wasn't the same thing as permanent. And centuries later, when the first major breakthrough arrived, the galaxy's laughter would begin to fade. For almost 1,000 years, the galaxy watched humanity chase what everyone else considered a hopeless dream. And for almost 1,000 years, nothing changed. The ancient debt remained so massive that even the most advanced supercomputers predicted repayment would take millions of years. The Fourth Dominion laughed. The Car Imperium laughed. Pretty much everybody laughed. Humanity had become the galaxy's favorite example of stubbornness. But then, everything changed. The breakthrough came from a human physicist named Dr. Alina Ward. At first, her research looked like another boring scientific paper buried under mountains of technical jargon. Most experts ignored it. That turned out to be a huge mistake. Because Alina had discovered something nobody thought was possible: a way to manufacture ultra-rare quantum materials using ordinary matter. Materials once worth entire planets could suddenly be created in industrial quantities. Overnight, humanity's economy exploded. Then came the second breakthrough: stellar harvesting. Human engineers built massive structures around stars capable of collecting nearly all of their energy output. Entire suns became power plants. The energy generated was so enormous that neighboring civilizations thought the readings were sensor errors. They weren't. Then humanity pushed even further: dark matter extraction, artificial singularity reactors, quantum fabrication systems. Every few decades brought another revolutionary discovery. Every breakthrough multiplied human productivity, and for the first time in history, the ancient debt started shrinking. 90% remained, then 80, then 70. The jokes stopped. Suddenly, the galaxy wasn't laughing anymore. It was paying attention. The first signs of concern appeared within the ancient empires. The Fourth Dominion secretly assigned intelligence divisions to monitor human progress. The Car Imperium launched covert operations to uncover the source of humanity's rapid growth. The Seraph Collective spent fortunes searching ancient architect ruins. All of them were asking the same question: what happens if humans actually succeed? The answer wasn't in the debt records. It was hidden inside a single sentence buried deep within the Covenant of Continuance. A sentence that had troubled scholars for centuries. Upon fulfillment of all obligations, inheritance shall transfer to the successor species. Nobody knew what it meant. Inheritance of what? Technology, weapons, territory, knowledge. The architects had vanished millions of years ago, taking most of their secrets with them. Yet the wording alone was enough to make powerful governments nervous. Because if the architects had truly been the greatest civilization in history, their inheritance could be worth more than the combined assets of every empire in existence. Years turned into centuries. Humanity kept working. Generation after generation continued making payments. The debt kept shrinking: 50%, 40%, 30%. The closer humanity got to the finish line, the more nervous the galaxy became. Then the impossible happened. The final payment was processed. A galaxy-wide transmission interrupted every communication network simultaneously. Every government, every military command center, every colony, every civilian terminal. The message contained only one sentence: the ancient debt has been satisfied in full. The reaction was immediate. Stock markets crashed. Emergency councils assembled. Military fleets entered high alert. Independent auditors spent months verifying humanity's claim. When they finally released their report, the conclusion was undeniable. Humanity had done it. After thousands of years of effort, the debt was gone. For the first time since the fall of the architects, humanity owed nothing. 3 days later, every surviving architect structure across known space suddenly activated. Ancient ruins millions of years old came alive. Lights flickered inside dead cities. Dormant machines awakened. And then a message appeared on every screen in the galaxy. A message that sent chills down the spine of every world leader. Debt verified. Successor status confirmed. Inheritance transfer initiated. And in that moment, the most powerful empires in the galaxy realized something terrifying. Humanity wasn't just receiving a reward. It was about to receive something that had been waiting for millions of years. The coalition expected humanity to arrive with a fleet. Instead, a single human vessel entered the system. One ship. No weapons, no escorts, no threats. The commanders of thousands of warships watched in confusion as the vessel transmitted a single request: access the architect archive. Moments later, every screen across the coalition lit up. Ancient records began playing. For the first time in millions of years, the complete history of the architects was revealed. The truth stunned the galaxy. The architects had never chosen humanity because humans were stronger than other species. They had never chosen humanity because humans were smarter. They chose humanity because humans were the only civilization that never walked away from an impossible responsibility. The debt had never been about repayment. It was about proof. Proof that when given a burden no one else would carry, humanity would keep moving forward anyway. 3,000 years. thousands of generations. Countless sacrifices. Humans could have abandoned the debt at any time. No one could have forced them to continue, but they did. And that was exactly what the architects had been waiting to see. The coalition fleets fell silent. For the first time, their commanders realized something terrifying. Every empire in history had pursued power. Humanity had pursued responsibility. And somehow, that made them far more dangerous. Then the final architect archive unlocked, a file labeled Inheritance, Final Authorization. The galaxy held its breath. The file opened. A single architect stood before the camera. Unlike the other recordings, this one had been made shortly before their disappearance. The ancient being looked directly into the lens. Then he smiled. If this message is playing, humanity has succeeded. His eyes seemed almost proud. For millions of years, the galaxy believed our greatest achievement was our technology. He slowly shook his head. They were wrong. Another pause. Our greatest achievement was humanity. Across thousands of worlds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The architect continued. We did not leave you our fleets. We did not leave you our power. We did not leave you our empire. A star map appeared behind him. Every hidden architect installation in the galaxy lit up. Then every one of them transferred command authority to humanity, instantly, without conditions, without limitations. The architect smiled once more, because power can be stolen. Empires can fall. Technology can be copied. But trust, he paused, must be earned. Then came the line that would echo through galactic history for the next million years. We spent millions of years searching for a civilization worthy of inheriting the future. We only found one. The recording ended. Silence filled the galaxy. Absolute silence. The coalition fleets slowly powered down their weapons, not because they were defeated, not because they were afraid, but because, for the first time, they understood. Humanity hadn't won a war. Humanity had won something far greater. The respect of the greatest civilization that had ever existed. And in that moment, every ruler, every admiral, and every empire realized the same thing. The architects had not left humanity a legacy. They had left the galaxy to humanity. And somehow, after 3,000 years of proving themselves, humanity had actually earned it.